collection of book excerpts I like. Part 1, The Psychological Laws of the Evolution of Peoples. The spirit, not the intellect, of each people determines the historical evolution of a nation and dictates its destiny. One always finds it behind the most powerless imaginations of chance, the most fictitious forecasts, the very real fate, which, depending on different beliefs, guides human actions. The influence of spirit is powerful in the life of nations, while the influence of intellect is feeble. The Romans in their era of decline possessed a far more refined intellect than their rougher ancestors. Yet they had lost the character traits of their forefathers: perseverance, energy, unyielding endurance, the capacity to sacrifice for an ideal, respect for the law, qualities that had made their ancestors great. It was precisely by this character that 60,000 Englishmen managed to keep 250 million Indians under their rule, even though many among the latter were their equals intellectually, and some even surpassed them in artistic taste or depth of philosophical thought. It was by this same character that the English came to lead the greatest colonial empire in history. Societies, religions, empires, all rest upon character, not intellect. Character is what enables peoples to feel and to act. Nations gain nothing by excessive reasoning or endless reflection. Lower races still display extremely little attention or reflection, immense imitative tendencies, the habit of drawing general conclusions from specific cases without accuracy, very weak abilities of observation and of deriving useful results from observation, fickle temperaments, and a lack of foresight. Instinct alone serves as their guide. Like Esau in the Old Testament, an archetype of primitive man, they are willing to sell their future birthright for a dish of lentils at hand. When man learns to weigh future benefits against immediate ones, to set himself a goal and pursue it persistently, he has made a considerable advance. It is precisely the inability to foresee distant consequences of actions and the habit of following instinct in present moments that keeps both individuals and races in an inferior condition. The more they are able to master instincts, that is, to gain willpower and self-mastery, the more peoples come to grasp the importance of discipline, the necessity of sacrifice for an ideal, and to raise themselves to a civilized state. If one had to measure the social level of nations in history by a single criterion, I would choose the degree of their ability to master reflex impulses. The ancient Romans and modern Americans of English origin represent the peoples who possess this quality to the highest degree. This has been a decisive factor in securing their supremacy. According to physiological laws, applicable to nerve cells as to any other cells of the body, and observed in all living organisms, organs disappear in a very short time compared to the long time it takes to form them. Any organ that no longer performs its function quickly loses the ability to act. The eyes of fish living in cave lakes gradually degenerate, and in time, the defect becomes hereditary. Even within a single human lifespan, an organ that required thousands of centuries to evolve by slow adaptation and inherited accumulation may deteriorate very quickly if unused. The mental constitution of beings cannot escape these physiological laws. A nerve cell that does not perform its function, or mental faculties that took countless generations to form, can vanish swiftly. Courage, initiative, energy, business sense, and the traits of personality that took centuries to develop are wiped out if they have no opportunity to act. Thus, a people always requires very long periods to reach a high cultural level, but sometimes only a very short period to collapse into decadence. In considering the causes that history shows have brought about the successive declines of various peoples, Persians, Romans, and others, it is always clear that the fundamental factor of their fall was a change in their mental constitution, the result of declining character. I have never seen a people perish due to intellectual decline. The elements that produce the dominant features of mental constitution are perseverance, energy, and strength of will.